This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Helping you find emotional, spiritual, and physical balance. What does your future hold? It's time to find out with Psychic Suzanna.
This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. You can find us now at PsychicSuzanna.com, where you get a free question, or you can go to KFAB.com and you will have all the shows we're playing that we've ever had. They're online, so you can tap in and find out what you need to know. If you need to know some help in understanding your wife or your husband, there's a show on that. If you need to understand your children, there's a show on that. If you need to understand how to handle bullying, there's a show on that. We are the show that answers the questions you will need in your life. So today's guest is I'm pretty excited to have him on. He is a local star here in Omaha. His name is Mojo. You've probably read his column. It's called The Planet Power, and it's in The Reader. Welcome to the station, Mojo.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Now, Mojo, can you tell me how you became an astrologer? Before we go into how you became an astrologer, I just got to say that you're one of the most eclectic gentlemen I've ever known. You know, you're a vast book of knowledge. I love that about you. How did you get started into astrology?
Well, it happens to be my stepfather was a traveling salesman, and he would get a lot of magazines, a lot of Reader's Digest, and included in those were astrological books. And even though he ultimately told me he didn't believe in astrology, he would bring these home, pile them up, and I would just devour them with relish. Mm-hmm. Now, at the time, I was living in a very unhappy situation in my life, as we all start out, and I was able to meditate. And my meditation was, if astrology worked, it would be a type of order in the universe. And also one of the first...
So astrology means there'll be order in the universe. I like that.
It's a type of order. Now, if you can find a type of order and it's consistent, then, at least as far as that particular discipline is concerned, it is an ordered universe. Now, just like any barrier that's overcome, the 7-foot high jump, the 60-foot shot put, once a person attains that level, all kinds of situations open themselves up to it. So, by parallel, once you attain to one idea of the order of the universe, then all these other systems show up all around you.
So now, in your life, in conversations with you, there have been so many things you have done to bring you right here to the Reader, to the KFAB studios. One of them was living in a tree. Tell me about that life. I thought that was pretty exciting.
Well, I owe everything to many people, to certain people I've met, to certain experiences, to certain dietary considerations. And then for 10 months, I went and lived in the forest almost 100% of the time. I came out twice and verified that it was not a good idea to come out, yes. See, in anything holy or spiritual, mystical, it takes what we call 6 months. Once you live in the forest for 6 months, then your bioelectricity goes down to a more subtle situation, and you're able to be happier with less. That's one of the residual benefits.
I think that's a big lesson, to be happier with less, isn't it?
Yes, amen. Yeah. Let us remain humble and prepare for success. Many times I've seen this 6-month situation, where, for example, the new moon in Pisces was February 4th, okay? And you'll see in 6 months, there will be the full moon in Pisces during the sign of Virgo. And you see all kinds of fits where you get ideas, and then the power of manifestation, which is ruled by the moon, all of a sudden everything works out where you find out exactly around 6 months later that the manifestation of the idea that began in this case would be the ideas, the dreams that you wish to manifest, that you initiate the ideas on March 4th. Then they often manifest in the full moon. I'll look it up right now.
Well, tell me, does how has astrology helped you in your life?
By changing my life around from being a very violent and upsetting type of person, mirroring my lack of view of the harmony of the universe. So once astrology turned my life around, that it was ordered, then I started living so.
Okay.
So I owe everything to it. So that I'm more than happy to share anything at any time with any person.
Mm-hmm. So do you look at chart daily? Do you look at things daily and figure out what you should be enduring, or how do you use your astrology chart?
Well, see, astrology is the timing of the natural world. A part of the fruit of Zen is to become at one with nature, and therefore...
That was a great statement. Say it again, please. That needs to remember. Astrology is the natural world? Is that
Astrology is the timing of the natural world.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And the first step of Zen is to become at one with nature, and therefore the second step, which would be using the mentality of what you learn, would be this step into the fact that it is order universe, and therefore you comply and act accordingly.
So if say my planets, now the planets are different than the astrology signs. How is that?
The planets flavor. See, in order to be a good astrologer, you have to be the planets so that you can be the signs. See, and the signs are the expression of these planets. Primarily, what you do is see what's your ruling planet. In your case, it would be Mars. But also in your case, since you're in a feminine incarnation, your moon in Cancer has more bearing on the way you express your personality in this lifetime, in this physical world.
One of the interesting things that I found out is that, when you go look at the Planet Power in the magazine, The Reader, that I may be an astrologer born in Aries, but I have many, many planets in other areas. So someone really does need to have their
correct
delineated, their astrology chart.
Where the sun is, or any person's, is your bookmark in the 12 chapters of the Book of Life, which is the zodiac. Now, your Mercury is your mentality, the expression of your mental and communicative skills. Venus is your desire nature, your love for art, your seeking of harmonic balance. Mars is the energy to push. It's a cold planet. It's good. You have to have that push in order to survive, especially...
So Mars is action?
Mars is action. Mars is fire. Mars is red. Mars is let's go.
Wow. Okay.
Excitement, initiation, pioneering. Jupiter is your sense of expansion, where you grow beyond... See, it's like you start out as a solar entity as a child, and then you grow to your Mercury and your Venus as a baby. Your mentality and your desire nature. Feed me, keep me warm, entertain me. Then you grow to an earthly experience where you realize you have a conscious ego. You touch yourself and you touch other people, they touch you. And that's your Mars realm. So your world expands. If you live in an urban setting, your world expands to the 2 blocks all around you, see. Then you get your bicycle, see? And now, see, that's a symbol of Mars. That's getting out there. That's moving faster than walking. Then your realm is like the 20 blocks all around you, okay? Now, when you get to the Jupiter realm, you study the universe. See, even our highest institutions of learning are called universe cities, you see, where you get an overall context. So you expand beyond your 20 square blocks into however big you can expand.
So Jupiter is a planet that appears in everyone's chart. All of these planets appear in everyone's chart.
All these planets appear,
okay.
Yes. And they're flavored and characterized by, first, the sign they're in, and secondly, by the house situation, which you have to know the time of birth to set up the house situation correctly. You can guesstimate, which of course I do all the time, but then to get the exact moment of birth, it's what it is. It's the first breath. From then on, somehow, and it's very magical, and I have to agree with that. That relates to the whole play of the cards that you'll be dealt. Now, that doesn't mean you will get these cards. That means these cards might be presented to you, and you might be receptive to them, or you might have your berries up at the wrong time, and they'll just pass you by.
Okay. We are talking to Mojo of Planet Power of the Reader. We're going to come right back. We're going to talk about the signs. We're also going to find out what they did, the Time magazine, where they said there's another sign. We'll discuss that with him. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. You can find us at psychicsuzanna.com or kfab.com. There is a list of all the shows we've ever done. You can send in a question to Psychic Suzanna. But if you don't belong to Life with Psychic Suzanna, you would not know about who our guest is today. If you do not belong to Facebook, Life with Psychic Suzanna, or Susanna Stickney Facebook, you would not be knowing what we're doing every day. So please join us on Life with Psychic Suzanna on Facebook and Susanna Stickney. And we are talking to Mojopo. Yes, he is the character who lives in Omaha, who has been telling us stories about planet power that he writes in the Reader. Mojo, let's go back to it. But before we go back to signs, we didn't go through all the planets. There's just not enough time on the air. But they can come to you. How do they find you, Mojo?
Mojopo, planetpower.com.
Okay. And for that, just go to the internet and you'll find him. But before we go to the signs, tell me about the Time magazine saying there's a whole nother sign.
Okey-doke. It's a factor of many things. Number one, Time magazine is in no way affiliated with any psychic or occult esoteric situation. See, they're just busy selling magazines. Now, they're not presenting anything new. What they're talking about is the difference between what's called the sidereal zodiac, which is where the actual stars are in the sky, as from the planet Earth. So again, it's a continuation of the Galileo problem, you see. Mm-hmm. The stars that look as our zodiac are only there because of our position on Earth, like we're the center of the universe now here in a psychic realm rather than the physical thing that Galileo had to deal with. That's all interesting, and it proves a parallel of the development of the ego. Now, the zodiac is a very beautiful metaphor for the development and the release of ego in selfless service in the sign of universal consciousness in Pisces. Mm-hmm. The elements of the ego are the moon. The moon rules the sign Cancer, so that's where you get the raw material. The words for Cancer is I hold on to. What do you hold on to? You hold on to the experiences of the I am of Aries, the I have of Taurus, and the I think of Gemini. Those are the foundations. You hold on to those as the foundations for your personality. Now, you express your personality in Leo, the sign of the king and the queen, the sign of entertainment, and then you perfect it in Virgo, where you realize that to serve is to rule. And rather than the subjects of the king and the queen, they become the children of the mother and the father in Virgo. Virgo is the sign of Mother Nature. The magic that sprouts the seed and the root of the entire agricultural situation, which our species depends on, for our food supply. That's for the first 6 signs of development of the ego, and the last 6 mirror those, and they develop our social response. It starts out with Libra, which is I and one other. First, you must make music with one other person before you can make music ensemble. Scorpio is I and the universe. Sagittarius is I in groups of people, your tribe, the people that know you and trust you and that you know and you trust. You know their limits, they know your limits. Capricorn are the channelers of wealth, the channelers of the most fruitful sign, which is Cancer. Aquarius is I and all humans, the word altruism, the feeling that we are all brothers and sisters. And then Pisces is I and all life.
Wow. I'm going to have to replay that again. That was quite a bit of knowledge.
Now, the problem with the 13th sign, that's the sidereal zodiac. In the year 3,640 years ago, 1640, the 2 zodiacs were the same. What starts as 0 degrees Aries was March 21st, and the constellation appearance, you see, again, it's only from Earth. From Jupiter, the stars wouldn't have the cohesiveness. It's not a group of people hanging out in the bar together. It's just a visual situation from being Earth-centered. So it has no real relevance. The real relevance is in the power of yin and yang. Yang is north and yin is south. In any war ever fought, the yang, the north, wins because the north rules technology, and wars are the meeting of people's technologies. everybody, including everything's yin, south, has what's called a draw, and then the north are more like in music. It's the north is in majors and the south is in minors. There's more beauty and enchantment to tunes with minors, but you get more business done with the majors.
Out of curiosity, the Mayan calendar just predicted. Can you handle telling me what that's all about? Because I think they said the Earth is going to end in 2012. Is that correct?
Psycho is going to change. What's going to happen is on that morning, there's a place in the center of the Milky Way, which the Mayans call the Huneb Ku, is at 26, 27 degrees Sagittarius. Now, see, when I was born here, it was 26. Now it's 27. See, that's the whole thing with these zodiacs. They're all attempts to get everything nice, clear, and concise for the left brain. It's not like that. It's wild and it's crazy, and we're trying to get form out of it. See, things move around. Now, of course, I studied Mayan stuff for 5 years. I got so deep into it, it was like 10% of my life, and I've taken a little break from it. I'll get back into it. Now, on that morning, the Earth will rise in the middle in that direction at 26 in the Huneb Ku. Over on the left will be Draconis, and over on the right will be Scorpius. And it'll be like it was 26,698 years ago, which is 12 times 2,158 years. But that's roughly. See, the whole thing with astrology, it's not one moment. The full moon is not 1 moment or 1 hour, not even 1 day. The full moon is 2 days before and probably a half a day after. And some people will never get over that full moon because that's how the cards come every once in a while. There are periods of time, their feelings, their vibrations, obviously.
When you talk to the police and you talk to people who work in psych wards and hospitals, they always say that there's a problem around the full moon. Is that our imagination?
No, that's there's a biological push, and then everybody gets out and gets more done, including crime and difficult situations. Well, it's interesting. One time the police were checking me out, and they said, "What's your occupation?" And I said, "Cosmic philosopher." So
Oh, I understand that.
That was the birth within myself of who I really was and what I'm here to do. And thank you for this opportunity to share this moment.
Oh, I'm really...
Now, speaking of this moment, what happens on March 6th has a relationship to the full moon September 12th. So, everybody, the thing is, there is no astrology. There are only people's opinions of astrology, okay? Create your own opinions. Create your own harmony. We are all surfers, and what we're talking about is the waves as the cosmic waves. Now, speaking of surfing, in the sign Pisces, the new moon from the 4th of March culminates, peaks on September 12th. Check it out in your own life. Write those dates down. See what you're doing now and see how it relates to then. See, and that's the beginning of your personal evaluation of the possibility of finding out when these waves come forth and what texture and what realms of your life experience, the 12 houses of your zodiac, they can show up.
So if we get a chart done, can we see where it is easier for us to work, where it is easier? It can signal. What all can a chart signal?
The work house would be the 6th house. It's the work and health. It relates to Virgo. Partnerships would be the 7th house. Other people's money, insurance, taxes would be the 8th house. 9th house is higher education and traveling and philosophizing. And 10th house is how the world knows you. Now, my 10th house is in Leo, and my Pluto, which is my planet ruling Scorpio, that rules my chart for Scorpio rising, is at the midheaven exactly. So the more I look like a lion, the more popular I become.
Wow. Wow. Well, and you do look like a lion with the beard and everything. This has been really wonderful having you in the studio.
My pleasure.
And I want to thank you, and we'll probably call you back on another date.
See you then.
This is Mojopo. The Mojopo writes for the reader. You can find him. Tell us, do you have a contact number or just through the Internet?
Just through the Internet, yes, that's all I have.
Are you not aware some people are not on the Internet, young man?
I'm just one step into the Internet. I have further to go. But
so, all right, now wait a minute. You have no other way for people to get a hold of you?
I'm already overwhelmed. Just with this slight bit of information is already there's lots of work that I'm behind on. So
okay. Thank you again for coming in the studios. God bless.
Peace and love shall conquer all. There are no mistakes.
Yes, that was Mojo. How exciting was that? Quite an eclectic kind of guy. Right now, we're listening in the background to a song that Mojo creates. He's quite the musical talent. You can hear him around town. As he was leaving the studio, someone said, wow, he's an incredible harmonic. Someone who plays what is that? Harmonics.
Harmonica?
Yes,
okay.
credible. Really great at that. This is his song that he's written, and he's going to be putting up on the internet for everybody to listen to. It is called Capricorn
In the Zodiac.
In the Zodiac.
Yeah.
Capricorn in the Zodiac. This is a man who came to the studio, entertained us with his profound knowledge. Please check out Mojo. He's in the reader, and this is his song.
Now the leaves fall to the ground as time slips away to the bottomless pit we call yesterday, where all the herbs grow on for belly to your pipe. All the forests as above.
Yes, you are right where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Now, please remember, you can find us at PsychicSuzanna.com, where you get a catalog of all the shows, as well as KFAB.com. And then at PsychicSuzanna.com, you get to ask one free question. You also get my schedule. Please join us at Life with Psychic Suzanna. There you get an insight to everything that will be on the show. We let you have an inside input. You also get my email name, so we answer your questions on emails, because usually the phones are busy. So we also are taking one question through email, and you can only find that email name by being a member of Life with Psychic Suzanna. Please join us also with Susanna Stickney. Then you get to follow out what I'm doing. I try to leave you every day with an intention, my intention, and I ask that you join me in making that intention better. I think my intention today is that we pray for peace, but especially for Libya. War is such an ugly thing, but it is a reality. So let's pray for those